It is an absolutely beautiful Friday morning, and I don't know if it's just because it's Friday or because it's 68 degrees outside, Evan. What do you think?
I think it's because it's Friday, it's 68 degrees, and we're all here together.
There we go. Sounds like a good one. That's how we'll go with this.
I just came up with that right then, Paul.
Yeah, well, gotta come up with stuff sometime, right?
That's right. Well, I'm thrilled that summer is finally showing its face, and hopefully for good.
Yeah, I'm looking at 90s all weekend, so I'm hoping.
Put the sunscreen out, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna need it. I burn easy.
Well, we also need some good golfing weather for Tanner.
Yep.
And for the first federal baking team for
Get to practice then.
Yeah, all the fundraiser outings this summer. We need the good weather for that. All right, well, we've got a special guest that we'll be talking with a little bit later in the show. Robin Burkett's back for Matthews Market to update us on what Matthews Market's been doing in the last year and all of the interesting challenges and successes that they've had through the pandemic and before. Great local pantry that's doing a lot for our citizens, but also for other pantries. So looking forward to talking with her about that. And big news, First Federal's CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Amanda Morris-Feldman, it's her 40th birthday today. So happy birthday, Amanda. Congratulations.
Hey, you were brave enough to list her age.
She's not shy about that. She's so proud of it, I'm sure. Okay, we got a great trivia question for you.
Okay. Then I don't get the answer to until the end.
Three choices, so
Three
you know it's hard if we're only giving you three choices. How many sectional baseball championships has Rochester High School won? Because they just won one. Is it A, 8, B, 11, or C, 14?
Oof. Alright, I'm gonna think on this.
It's a total guess.
It is. It is. I don't have the slightest clue.
Well, we'll give you some time. Tanner's back. Hey, Tanner.
Good morning.
Hey, how about some sports updates for us this morning?
I'd be happy to update everybody what's going on in the world of sports, both locally and around the country. Like Evan just mentioned, the Rochester baseball team had a big sectional win last week, bringing home the sectional title for the first time since 2014. Now we'll see if they can win the program's first ever regional. The program's never won a regional before. They've been to the regional finals a couple times.
Okay.
They played Delphi, and then if they get past Delphi, they'll play the winner of Wapahani and Madison Grant.
No hints there at all.
No. And this is the Lafayette Central Catholic Regional, so the game will be played at Lafayette Central Catholic tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not sure who the favorite would be out of those four teams, do you?
I am not sure. I know Paul was saying Rochester and Delphi played earlier this year, and Rochester won the first meeting, but it was very early in the season, so both teams probably have a different identity and look to them than they did in April.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun one.
Yeah, should be good times. Good luck to the boys zebra baseball team tomorrow. And interesting to note here, I've seen this posted numerous places online. Rochester's the only school in the state this year to win sectional titles in volleyball, girls basketball, boys basketball, wrestling, and baseball.
As well as girls bowling.
Oh, and girls bowling as well.
Yes, that one didn't make the list,
Yeah.
but it did happen. So I had to check that one. Somebody questioned me on
That's
that.
a number of tournament wins.
Yeah, that's quite
in
an
1 year.
athletic year.
It
Quite
is.
a lot of accomplishments right there. So,
Yeah.
then of course they've had a lot of individual success too. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, and the boys golf team's going to try to add to that today. The golf sectionals are today. They're probably teeing off right now, if not now, in a few minutes. The Rochester boys team, Caston and Winnemac are all in the same sectional down at Dykeman Park Golf Course in Logansport. And Tippecanoe Valley's over at Rosella Ford in Warsaw. So good luck to all those guys.
Which course would you rather be playing at right now?
Dykeman.
Okay.
That's where we played when I was in high school in the sectional, and pretty kind of a little comparable to Rosella. You can score pretty well both courses, but I think Dykeman, you can get away with a bad hole or two more than you can at Rosella, in my opinion. So, but at least they got good weather.
That's right.
Yeah.
Warm weather. The ball is going to go far. So, and also good luck to Tippecanoe Valley Dawson Perkins today. He's going to be in the high jump in the state finals. That's tonight at Ben Davis High School. Congratulations to him.
At least it'll cool off a little bit before he's got to run and jump.
Yeah, I'm sure once you get in the state finals, your adrenaline's going to be pumping no matter what, and
Yeah.
no matter what the temperature is. But
I'd rather do the jumping than like the 3,200.
yeah, me too. I think so. Just get stretched out and ready to go. So good luck to Dawson tonight. NBA playoffs are still going on right now. I mean, they basically just started. The first round's almost over. The last series remaining is the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. That's Game 6 tonight.
I'm rooting for the Mavericks.
I think most of the country's rooting for the Mavericks. I know most of the country was rooting for the Phoenix Suns,
Absolutely.
and they knocked the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers out last night. So the first time in LeBron James, how many years he's been in the league? A while.
Probably upwards of 15.
Yeah. I know it's at least 15. No, probably 17 or 18. He's out in the first round of the playoffs for the first time in his career. So now he's 14-1, getting past the first round in his career in the playoffs. So.
Wow.
I flipped on the game last night. It was 47-19 at one point. The Suns. I'm like, I think the Suns are going to get it done. So
Suns star Devin Booker hit his first 6 threes at
it's
least.
a good start. Well, the NBA, this is good for the league, I think, this year. The remaining teams in the playoffs, the ones who have won NBA championships before, it's been quite a while. And there's a lot of teams still in that have never won one. And a lot of small market teams still in it. So
That is good.
I think it's actually good parity for the league for once.
Yeah, it's hard in that league.
So that's my biggest complaint with the NBA is the same teams are always in it year after year. Same players. So
Well, it should be exciting then.
yeah, it should be. Speaking of excitement, the Indianapolis 500 was pretty exciting over the weekend.
It
Yes,
was. And our trivia question.
Yeah, check it
It's
a little
almost
bit. Yeah.
It was almost prophetic.
Yeah, last week it was who of the. I had 4 guys listed. 3 of them had won 4 Indianapolis 500s. The other one only 3. Elio Castroneves was the answer, having only 3 wins. Well, now he joined that club of 4 wins. So his first Indianapolis 500 win since 2009. I think a lot of people wrote him off about 4 or 5 years ago, thinking, nah, that was his last chance.
That's
Well,
right. He's been around a while.
He
so
got it done, and now he's gonna go for 5.
That's pretty
next
neat.
year. Yeah.
He used to be really popular, I feel like,
Yeah.
when he was younger.
It sounded like he still was on Sundays. That place erupted when he took the lead late and got
That's
the win.
neat.
So
Yeah. But hey, you know what? At least you guys got to come to work Monday or Tuesday morning and not have to worry about why didn't you get that tire on right?
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of pressure.
yeah. One mistake like that, you might be looking for a different race team to work for.
Definitely would be.
A lot of pressure. And one more sports news before we move on here. Coach K at Duke, Coach Mike Krzyzewski, that's always a tough last name to say, he announced he's retiring after this next season.
Yeah, I didn't really see that coming, but he has been there a while.
Yeah, I thought it was coming in the next couple of years. I didn't know if it'd come this quick. We saw Roy Williams retire this past
That's right.
offseason, so kind of the changing of the new guard
I
around
know.
college basketball.
It's odd a little
Yeah,
bit.
and it looks like John Shire, who used to play for Duke and an assistant coach for Duke, it looks like he's the coach in waiting. So they already kind of have that ready to go.
I think I saw something where he's about the same age as when Coach Krzyzewski took over Duke.
Yeah, that would be about right.
32 or 3 or something.
That'd be
like that.
about right. So it's going to be, come next year in 2022-23 season, it's going to look a lot different around college basketball without some of these big name coaches.
Are you surprised they went with a selected promotion rather than a big search?
I was, because it was earlier that day when the Boston Celtics announced the move of Brad Stevens
yes.
stepping into the front office and them looking for a new head coach. I made a joke among my friends, he's going to be the Duke's next head coach. And then a few hours later, Coach K announced he's going to retire. I'm like, maybe I'm onto something. And then it was announced John Shire's going to be the coach in waiting. So
Keep you humble.
that was a big day of basketball news earlier this week.
It sure was.
I got some tidbits here this morning, just a couple. Paul, you might be familiar with this one since you're a Cleveland Indian fan. On this day in 1974, the Cleveland Indians held a 10-cent beer night. But due to the drunken and unruly fans, the Indians had a forfeit against the Texas Rangers.
I was not aware of that.
It's probably one of those plans that sounded good on paper,
Yeah.
and then when it actually comes to fruition, not such a good
Speaking
idea.
of someone getting fired.
Yeah,
Whoever came up with that idea.
probably multiple people there.
Terrible.
On this day, 2003, Amazon.com, as it was known back then, announced that they had received more than 1 million orders for the book Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, even though the release date wasn't planned until June 21st.
A million pre-orders?
Million pre-orders.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hope if I ever write a book that I get a million pre-orders.
I'm sure you take a fraction of that.
I'd take 2 pre-orders, honestly, that weren't, family members.
Tanner and I are here for you.
See,
Yeah.
there we go. I'd be
Yeah.
happy.
It's a tight brotherhood.
And on this day in 2008, the United Kingdom and Canada became the first countries to be able to buy and rent films on the iTunes store.
That surprised me.
That surprised me
What
too.
about the U.S.?
I don't even think the U.S. would have been number one. And
We weren't quite sure yet if it was going to take.
Yeah.
I remember buying and renting things like that on the iTunes store back in the day.
Yes.
Now I just use it to buy songs once in a while, but can't say I buy.
Even buying songs seems a little bit.
It does.
Outdated.
Yeah,
It
just
does.
a little bit.
It does. But it's what it is. A lot of national days today. Today is National Hug Your Cat Day.
Aw.
So Evan, I know you have a cat, so you got to go home and give it a hug
I
today.
already did that.
National Donut Day. So it's breakfast time. Go get yourself a donut. National Corgi Day. That'll be big in my household. I have a
Yeah.
half Corgi, half Australian Shepherd. So
Aw, congratulations.
every day is National Corgi Day at my house. It's National Cheese Day. National Cognac Day. I believe I pronounced that right. Some type of wine or alcohol, I believe. National Fish and Chips Day. National Old Maids Day. And National Tailors Day.
Old Maids Day, is that like the card game?
Like the card game, yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So,
Oh,
all
favorite.
quite some days today, so
Okay.
hopefully you find something relatable there.
Yeah. Cheese.
Are there tailors anymore?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I think there are, but they're, more exclusive tailors.
Few and far in between.
Years ago, we'd be wearing suits and ties doing the show. Now
Yeah.
we're both in jeans. I feel
Yeah.
a little guilty about that on National Tailors Day.
Yeah. We need to plan this next year.
Yeah.
We'll
Yes.
Wear suits and ties.
Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Plan
Yeah.
ahead.
Fitted suits and
Of
ties.
course, our show won't fall on Taylor's
That's
Day
true.
next year, but
True.
in 5
It
years
might.
or whatever. Yeah, I don't know that. Okay, well, thank you, Tanner.
You're welcome.
Okay, we got a couple of upcoming events here in the community. The first one is the Road to Recovery event tomorrow, and this is a fun walk to support those who are in addiction recovery. Tomorrow the registration's at 9 a.m. with the event starting at 10, and that's at Ace Fitness. And the walk will go from there. It's 3.1 miles, so a 5K length, and finishes in the city park, and they'll have free tacos available at the city park afterwards. I
Okay.
believe at the main pavilion area. So
Yes.
it's the first year for this event, and pretty exciting, so we're hoping for a good turnout. Also got a hot tip on another event from a faithful listener. Have you been missing those delicious and fun all-you-can-eat dine-in dinners that you used to go to with your friends and neighbors?
I'm already getting hungry. What do you got?
I've got good news for you. Next Thursday, June 10th, the Grass Creek Lions Club's hosting a Dan's Fish and Chicken Fry.
Ooh.
Dine in, all you can eat. It's at the fire station from 4:30 to 7 on Thursday. You can also do carry out if you want to. Tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for kids.
Okay. If you don't see me next week.
You had to, if I don't see you on Friday morning, you.
Yeah, I'm still a little hungover from all the food that I ate.
Also coming up is the Fulton County Historical Power Show, which is June 11th through 13th at the Fulton County Museum grounds. That's featuring tractors, trucks, flea market, food and swap vendors, barrel train rides, kid games, and more. Fun for all ages. That's Friday and Saturday 9 to 8 and Sunday 9 to 2.
Okay.
And this is another free fishing weekend around Indiana. You can fish the state's public waters without a fishing license. That's tomorrow and Sunday. That's always fun. Usually the hospital pond fills up pretty well.
Yes, it
On
does.
that
Ain't
one.
quick too.
That's right. And in money news, the Dow was down a touch yesterday. It's down a little bit for the week. We can kind of probably expect this year it's going to be up and down quite a bit based on different headlines coming out because no one's really sure of exactly how things are going to go. But there have been some good economic reports here lately. The jobs data is expected to be really strong. It's coming out today. Stock futures for today are flat right now. They're waiting to see exactly what that report looks like. A couple other good pieces of economic news. ADP's payroll report that they put out, I believe monthly, showed that companies hired nearly 1 million new workers in May.
Good.
So that was a great sign. showing that the recovery is still going pretty strong. Another good sign on the other end of that, jobless claims were below 400,000 for the first time since March of 2020.
Yeah, I like to hear that.
So 2 really good economic marks for us. And about First Federal today, wanted to tell you about our summer purchase special for mortgage loans. For all purchased fixed rate loans that are disclosed from now through July 31st, First Federal is giving a lender credit of $500 towards standard closing costs. And we're excited to do that. It's an interesting buyer's market out there. If you're looking to buy, there's not a lot of homes on the market, so you got to be ready to strike quick when an attractive home is listed. So we recommend a pre-approval through First Federal. Stacy Wilson or Ben Dalton can help you with that. Just make sure you're ready to go and have gone through the process of getting your financing in place so you can have the confidence to make that offer on a home. And then also we've got this special for you, so $500 off standard closing costs. We're excited to do that. Let's see, borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
All right. Well, I'm pleased to be joined by Robin Burkett.
Hi, Evan.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back.
It's been a while. Met with Dick. I don't know. I mean, it's been at least a year ago.
That's right. Robin, you've been involved with Matthews Market since the beginning, I believe.
We have.
Is that right?
My husband and I, at that point in time, it was in 2011, we had given a lot of thought and wanted to start a community food pantry and had looked into several different locations. And at the time, we belonged to the Cross Church, and we went to the church and told them our plans. We were going to proceed with, even in the community, it didn't matter whether the church was involved or not, we were looking into that. And they had a meeting and decided that they wanted to be a part of Matthews Market, and so that's kind of how it all started.
So for those that are listening that maybe they're not familiar with Matthews Market, you just mentioned it's affiliated, supported by Cross Church.
It is.
Tell us where it's at, what it's doing.
Okay. We are actually in the north parking lot of the church. They had at the time, just a concrete little building, and they told us in supporting us that they would let us have that building and renovate it for us to put the food pantry in there.
That's a big win.
That's a big win. It was a big win for the community, a big win for everybody, and helped Pat and our agenda really well to be able to have a location to get into and stuff. So it's worked out very well.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about overall what Matthew Market set out to do.
Okay. Well, when we first started our planning, thought if we could help even 100 families a month, we would be really happy to be able to do that. We knew there was a need in our community, and well, God had other plans because we just have been holding on ever since, and it's still the direction that it is. But our highest family count per month was 729 families in 1 month that came to the market for assistance with their groceries and stuff.
Wow.
And up until COVID, we were running an average of at least 650 per month. COVID changed all that. We really thought that we were going to be swamped when COVID hit, and all the pantries in the area felt the same way. We kind of all talked via phone calls and everything about how we prepare for this, and it kind of wound up not that way. So much aid was given to people. So many people in the community stepped up. I've just been so impressed and so thankful for all the help that I know our pantries received, and in talking to some of the other pantries, they've received as well, with people who have been willing to give and try to help those in our community.
So instead of it being a real lean time where the demand was so great and the supply so little, you're saying that the supply was able to meet the demand even in incredible times.
You know, they received their stimulus monies, they received all of the food programs that were being offered, the giveaways, the discounts, all of those kinds of things. And coming to the pantry, we dropped down to, on a typical Monday, we usually see around 50 families, and during COVID, we might see 7.
Wow.
So we were just shocked, that it dropped off.
That's right.
But that aid is starting to end now. And most of those people, if they were on food stamps, their food stamps, a lot of the amounts were tripled.
I see.
So, all of that aid is starting to drop now, and the numbers are starting to go up. We're back to 20 to 25 on Mondays. And it's going to all end, and then it's going to be a huge need at that point in time.
Is there a specific date when some of those things are ending, or we just know that's coming?
We know that's coming. Some of
Okay.
them have already stopped.
I see.
There's different dates along
Right.
the way. Some of those dates have been here and gone, and then they were extended. So no, I don't know those specific dates,
Well,
but
we know
it's
it's-
all going to end in the next few months.
Well, and if you're back up to 20 something on a Monday, that's almost back to normal in some ways.
Well, we're not to half yet,
Okay.
so but it will get there. There's no doubt about that.
Interesting. Okay, so that's kind of what last year was like for Matthews Market. Did you have any specific needs last year through that had to be met in creative ways? Or?
Well, we had to change, of course, letting people into the market to do their own
Right.
shopping. It's set up like a grocery store, so the clients will come, they do their own shopping with volunteer assisting them as needed. We had to stop all of that. They were no longer allowed into the market for their safety and for our volunteers' safety. So we completely had to change how we do everything because they were given a grocery list of all the items that we basically had in the market.
I see.
They could sit in their cars, fill out their grocery list on what they wanted, and then our volunteers were still there, and they picked their items and filled their order, and then they would drive around to the back of the market, and their order was placed into their trunk for them.
Do you expect that to go back to the way it used to be?
We did as of May 1st.
Okay, so
and
we're back
clients
to
were
normal.
so happy, and so were the volunteers, and so we're back to normal from that standpoint.
Oh, good.
Still doing all of the cleaning procedures and sanitizing carts in between clients, and everything we can do from the safety standpoint.
Right.
But the clients are allowed back in now.
Oh, that's a blessing.
It is a blessing.
Okay, so this is actually the 2011. You said this is the 10th year
It is.
anniversary for
It is.
Matthews Market. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's great. How has Matthews Market changed from back then? You talked about volume of people and that more than you expected by a lot.
By a lot, yes.
Have there been other changes in what you're doing or how you go about the
There
business? of
has.
food?
We've definitely expanded to, like I said, we're like basically a small grocery store.
Yes.
I mean, we have a lot of variety. We didn't count on not community support, corporate support like we have received. So that opened up a whole new realm of financial assistance, with, like, for example, Midwest Poultry. We get 250 dozen eggs a month from them and
Wow,
have
that's-
since the beginning. So
That's incredible.
that is incredible.
So
and we
some
appreciate
big
them.
companies are,
Yeah, they've stepped, they got involved from the very beginning. We had a dairy farmer actually in Marshall County that gave us 3 dairy cows a year to be ground into hamburger.
oh great.
And they've done that for probably 8 years out of that 11. So a lot of continual support that helped us immensely. The needs were great. So, and I, a few years ago, received a grant to begin community pantries in other small areas around us because what we were seeing was people were having a hard time getting in if they didn't have a vehicle.
Oh yeah.
Macy area, some of the Kiwanis area, just different areas around that was a need. And so we kind of got on board with those communities and started smaller community pantries in those areas to help pull those people. Plus, when our numbers got to 700 and some a month,
Yeah. You just
that
spread
helped
out a
take
little.
that helped take a little the pressure off of us too. And then we still help support those pantries as much as we can. We started out providing all of their food in the beginning, and then they've taken off and they have their own donations now and their own setups and everything, and we just supply any extras that they need. And when we all share back and forth. Even they now sometimes will have excess of something and they'll call me to see if we need it. So all of those pantries share, and that's nice.
That's called a network.
It is a network.
That's
it
really,
is
really
definitely
neat.
a network. And it's not just our community. We service North Manchester. We have a pantry over there that we work with a lot. We have North Judson was one of them. Under the grant from the Community Foundation, Stark County, of course, is covered under the Community
that's right.
Foundation. And so we have worked with the pantry over there, and they've become much larger and much busier, and we still supply them with a lot as well.
What a success story here in the 10th year.
But we didn't plan that when we started. You just kind of hang on and go the direction that it went.
You said earlier, God's plan, and you just hang on
Absolutely.
and see where, one step at a time.
Yeah.
We're speaking with Robin Burkett, the director of Matthews Market, about Matthews Market this morning. Are there some needs that the market has today or down the road that you see coming?
Well, I would definitely encourage people, knowing that the end is coming to all this aid, to please keep in mind the fall, the season of the fall when the kids go back to school, and they have so many, families have so much other expense. The pantries really blossom at that time and have a need. The holiday season, of course, is always a huge need. So if anybody can plan ahead and know that they want to give to any of the pantries around, those are definitely key times to be able to do that. Right now, all the pantries are pretty well stocked, just because of the decrease in the need. But that's, like I said, that's going to end. So, keep that in mind for sure.
That's great.
Basic items, if you go to the grocery store and the place has 10 for 10 or something like that, pick them up. We need boxed meals, baking goods, health and beauty aids like shampoo, toothpaste. There's always a need for those kinds of items.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought of those items. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Paper goods, toilet paper, paper towel, those are always a huge need. Those are always items that we pretty much buy all the time. So anything like that you can just throw in your cart as extra and accumulate at home, we would love to have them, and I'm sure United Ministries would take anything like that. Any of the pantries around this area.
And what I like about the network that you mentioned is you can donate to your local pantry with a lot of confidence, because if they end up real heavy on something, we now have learned from what you told us, Robin, that they share with all the other pantries around, and
yes, we definitely do that.
That's really neat just to know that it's spread out, covering our whole county and beyond.
Yeah, that it works very well for all of us. Really nothing goes to waste, because even if we have perishables or anything given to us and they're not utilized by human consumption, we pass those on to, we have several hobby farmers in the area that will come pick up anything that's not fit for humans, and they feed their chickens and pigs and that kind of thing. So really nothing goes to waste.
I didn't even realize that was a thing.
It's all part of it.
That's awesome to hear that.
People think it's just a little pantry that opens their doors and people pick things off the shelves, but there really is a lot behind the scenes that go on that you don't realize.
What about volunteers? You mentioned volunteers a couple of times. Tell us about that.
We could not exist without our wonderful volunteers. I mean, we have people who have been there the whole 11 years, and they're there week after week with such dedicated hearts to serve. And none of the pantries could exist without their volunteers.
That's awesome. Are there any needs for volunteers at your pantry or some of the others?
We not only do we have the volunteers that work with the clients on it when we're open, but then we also have volunteers who will come in and stock shelves. We have volunteers who will pre-package things. Sometimes we get items in bulk that have to be packaged down into smaller amounts. So we have some ladies that'll come and just do that for us. We always need food pickup people that will drive. We go to Francisville once a month to pick up food there. We go to the Midwest Foods. If we have dairy, any animals donated through, especially Hoosiers Feeding the Hungry, somebody drives to Wakarusa to pick those up at the processing plant. Our little box truck's on the road just about every day somewhere.
I see it quite often.
Yes. Can't miss it. Big yellow truck.
That's really exciting. Well, this is obviously, we can feel your passion talking about this. And you've passed the 10-year milestone, which is just a really neat accomplishment. So I want to thank you for your dedication and leadership in the community in this way.
Well, like I said, it couldn't be done without all the volunteers that help. They're the key to all of it.
Well, is there anyone else you want to recognize this morning?
I would really like to personally thank everyone who has stepped up this past year in our community and donated. Our cash donations have been good. The community businesses that have stepped up and called and said, how can we help? Everyone thought that it would be a huge need. So we had so many people step forward. Your boss was very generous of a donation recently. All of those things, it is amazing how this small community rallied around, and we just couldn't be more grateful.
Wow. Thank you so much for mentioning that. We live in a generous community. It's something we all hopefully we don't take for granted, but we all appreciate, and it comes through in different ways at different times. And this is a neat story that you've told us this morning about the support that you've received. So it's really what this show is all about too, is really finding out all of the different ways that we can work together and encouraging and recognizing that. So thank you so much for what you've done with Matthews Market and continue to do, Robin.
Well, thank you.
And
We just want to serve the need.
You're doing an awesome job. We appreciate you coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay. Well, that was an inspiring amount of information, I think.
Yes.
All right. Let's get to our baseball trivia this morning. How many sectional baseball championships has Rochester High School won? 8, 11, or 14?
You know, I have no clue. So there's really, it's a pure guess. B, 11.
You're correct.
Really?
It's a good number. That's a really good number.
Wow.
Yeah. So congratulations to the boys on that team this year for winning another one.
Yes.
Let's end this morning with some good words of wisdom. Henry David Thoreau. You've done a lot of reading of Thoreau?
No.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
After this quote, you might think about it.
I might.
Be not simply good, be good for something.
And that is a good quote.
That's right, a little purpose.
Yes. All right. Well, Evan, thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys again next week.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Tanner.